Now, a round of golf, give or take, might take you around 4 hours. If you're really good, you might play 70 or 80 shots. But how about hitting balls non-stop for a whole day?
If you're not very good, it'll take you 5 or 6 hours and you'll hit a lot more than 70 or 80. Now, Steve Purdy from Cambridge is trying to do just that. He wants to hit more golf balls in 12 hours than anybody else. And Tom Williams is with him now.
Yes, welcome to the Gogmagog Golf Club in Cambridge. He's been going since 7 a.m. this morning. He should be finishing at about 7 o'clock this evening. So in, 10 or 15 minutes or so. Is he crazy? No, he's doing it for his niece. I'll explain more on that shortly. First, the rest of the sport. It's every young footballer's dream to make it as a professional. In reality, few succeed. Between the ages of 16 and 21, there's a 90% dropout. This special report from Jonathan Park.
Can we go a bit quicker? Nice and sharp around the mannequin. Stats do say, look, not everybody's going to make it, so you've got to come out and you've got to think of what you're going to do.
Well, that's like every youth team's player's worst nightmare, really. I'd be distraught, like the amount of time I've been here.
It's spelt out from an early age. Your chances of making it are slim.
Dan Bannister, centre midfield.
Danny's just started his scholarship at Northampton Town. He's got 2 years to impress and 2 years of study. There's an NVQ, which is A-level standard, plus a sports-related technical certificate to gain, and a Level 2 coaching qualification, all are compulsory.
The industry's got a moral obligation to ensure that anybody coming into the industry has got a good opportunity and a good chance of transferring to another career once football's over.
Will Green, striker.
Will's in his final year and the pressure is growing. At a club with a small squad, he's expected to feature in the reserve team more and be good enough to avoid release.
It's not easy, is it? I mean, you're probably ruining some lad's dream, but you know, we try and reassure him that it's not the end of the world for him. If we can help him in any way we can, we do.
Like at Northampton, these Southend lads earn £60 a week chasing their dream. The Shrimpers are one of the first clubs in the country to introduce development contracts, a last chance saloon for 18-year-olds who show promise but are not yet ready for a professional deal.
It was very cutthroat at 16 to 18. If you didn't make it 18, you was released. And I thought, that's, you know, some boys are late developers, they're young. We've got to give them that opportunity. So we've brought that philosophy here now to Southend, and it's now reaping the benefits, obviously, with Merrick now earning a pro contract.
One is Merrick James Lewis, whose success has resulted in a 2-year professional contract.
In football, things change so quickly, so all I can say is just give 100%, just never give up.
Southend spend £400,000 on their youth set-up every year. Northampton don't spend as much, but in terms of support, offer the same level of service.
Father figure, mother figure, agony aunt, taxi driver, money lender, whatever, but that goes with the job.
Around 7 out of 10 of these apprentices won't be kept on by their clubs. Some will get a second chance elsewhere. For others, it's time for the real world, but at least with an education to fall back on. Jonathan Park, BBC Look East.
And the football this weekend in the Championship, Ipswich head to Crystal Palace. Roy Keane getting increasingly frustrated at the lack of transfer activity. Norwich plays Swansea in League One. MK Dons go to Carlisle. Peterborough, after last week's thrashing, play Huddersfield. Colchester are away to Rochdale. And in League Two, it's Northampton, Bury, Southend v Port Vale, and Stevenage host Stockport. As always, coverage on your local BBC radio station. Highlights on the Football League show Saturday night, and there's coverage on the BBC Sport website too. In the third test, significant day for Essex batsman Alistair Cook. Under pressure, he scored a century for England, which all but booked his place on this winter's Ashes tour. Right then, let's get back to the golf. Steve Purdy was hoping to break the record today for the most golf balls hit in 12 hours. He was doing it to raise money for his niece Zoe, who has cystic fibrosis. The record was 7,721. That equates to about one shot every 6 seconds. And moments ago, the record was broken. We'll allow him to one more shot and we'll whip in. Steve, you've just broken the record. What an effort.
Unbelievable. I'm absolutely shattered, obviously, but I want to thank everybody here for the monumental performance, especially Mr. Grillo down here, who's putting balls up for me. Yeah, I mean, absolutely shattered. Don't know how I did it, really.
Well, you've been going since 7 a.m. this morning. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. Next question.
Well, tell you what, let's bring in Zoe just quickly, your niece, who you've been doing it. Zoe, You must be very proud of your uncle.
Yeah, he's done really well.
And it was a very emotional moment when he completed the record, wasn't it, for both of you?
Yeah, really good.
It was for me as well.
And will the money Steve is raising, will that make a real difference?
Yeah, they're putting it into research for cystic fibrosis cure.
Right, well, many congratulations to both of you. I better let you carry on because you're trying to smash this world record. They're not going to make you pick all the balls up, are they? I hope not. Steve's already raised about £6,000 for cystic fibrosis. That's a fantastic effort, and after today, no doubt, it's going to be much, much more. We'll let Steve get back to it.
Oh, he's not going to do it. We were a bit worried, weren't we, because of Tom's pen behind his ear, just like an old-fashioned journalist. We liked it. Now, 70 years ago today, Winston Churchill made one of his most famous speeches. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. He was speaking, of course, about the pilots who fought in the Battle of Britain.
Many of those men and their aircraft were based here in East Anglia. Today at Duxford, they've been remembered, with some special guests joining in a flypast. Faye Southwell reports.
Target London was the single order for Goering's pilots.
It was a pivotal moment in the war. Hitler had invaded France. Now his sights were set on England. But Allied forces took to the skies. Spitfires bringing down German fighters. Hurricanes targeting the bombers.
Then, like now, air superiority was vital. And the Germans were determined to gain control of the air before they invaded Great Britain. They were unable to do so because of the combined forces of the Royal Air Force and their allies. By the end of September 1940, the Battle of Britain had been won.
Today, Spitfires and Hurricanes again over Duxford in a commemorative flight. Joining in the flypast in a separate plane, pilot Bruce Dickinson, better known as lead singer of rock band Iron Maiden.
It's amazing to see a pair of Hurricanes and a pair of Spitfires on the wing. Makes you realise the essential nature of these things. They were hunters. And honestly, it was really astonishing, incredible feeling.
And sharing that experience, pilot Nathan Deutsch. He first flew last September with the charity Flying Scholarships for the Disabled. This year he made his first ever solo flight.
When I was born, they said I wouldn't do anything. So to fly an aeroplane on my own, it's proving everyone wrong.
I think it's an enormous achievement for all pilots. Flying is a sense of freedom. And when you're disabled, when you're flying in an aeroplane, it gives you that real sense of liberation, that you are in control, you're in control of an aeroplane, you're in control of your life.
Exactly 70 years ago today, Winston Churchill said, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." Those words remain just as true today as they did then. Faye Southwell, BBC Look East, Duxford.
Now, this weekend, Highlands Park in Chelmsford turns into a giant campsite for one of the country's major music events. Thousands of people are making their way there for the V Festival.
They're expecting 170,000 people to watch bands like the Kings of Leon, The Prodigy and Kasabian. Dawn Gerber is there now. Hello, Dawn.
Hello, yes, well, we did have a little bit of sunshine earlier on. It's clouded over, but it's still quite warm here at Highlands Park in Chelmsford. And as you said, fans have started to arrive for this year's V Festival. 170,000 across the two-day weekend, so lots to be happening, lots to keep them entertained. And away from here on the main stage, final preparations taking place. There's also the celebrity areas where they'll be hanging out away from all the music. And over 80 bands will be performing this weekend. I've been finding out who the fans are here to see.
Well, we've travelled from the southwest today, and we're looking forward to Plan B, Kings of Leon, Stereophonics.
Yeah, and a few newies like Ellie Goulding.
It's become part of our life, really. This time's the first time we've been in a camper van, though, so that's something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to Plan B and Madness.
Now, I'm here with Sam and Gary. You've decided to camp, you brought your van here, but also it's your anniversary.
It is. We met here last year at Faye.
So you decided, a year later, you decided to come back and, you know, celebrate that moment?
We did, yeah.
Got it really in, yeah.
And what's it like camping at a festival?
It's great fun. There's an element of luxury coming in a camper van.
Now, as a woman, I'm struggling with my hair with all this wind. What essential items have you brought?
My hair straighteners.
Let's have a look. You've brought a little pile.
Yep.
And also your hair dryer.
Yep.
Well, enjoy the festival. Thanks for joining me. Now, so lots going to be happening. If you are travelling down, don't forget to have a listen to BBC Radio Essex. They'll have some travel updates for you, and also the website. They'll have some photos as well. So don't forget to have a look. And before I go, I was going to say Kings of Leon, of course, are headlining tomorrow, and Kasabian. Bands start at 12 tomorrow. Back to you.
Dawn, thank you very much. Luxury is a camper van.
I know, it's all relative, isn't it? But you can use your hairdryer, and I do understand the importance of that. What's the weather?